1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Let no one despise your youth, but be an example to the believers in word and conduct, and love and spirit and faith and purity. See, Paul is currently saying this to Timothy. And we'll get back to the point that he's trying to make. It's almost time. I'm going to direct this lesson towards the kids, but I'm going to also add some application for everybody else that's not a child. It's almost time to go back to school. New classes, new teachers, new schedules, new sports seasons, maybe even a whole new school in general. Some of you may be excited. It'd be a little weird for somebody to be excited to go back to public school. I can see Sam's face right now. But I know, I was excited, and I'm weird, so. But you might be excited. You might be nervous. Going back to school, maybe a new environment, might make you a little nervous. Some of y'all are probably thinking, I wish summer was not over. But as you get ready to go back to school, there's something I need you to remember. I can want, but I need you to remember this. Don't leave Jesus at home. It is easy to think about Christianity as something we do here. We come to worship, we sing, we pray, we take communion, we study the Bible. But then Monday comes, and we go back to school. And sometimes we act like Christianity stays in the church building. We could be going back to work. And we act like Christianity stays in this church building, but it really does not. So we got to be a Christian at school. So going back to Paul told Timothy to not let anyone despise him for his youth. Now, he was probably like 18 or so. So nowadays, that's not really youthful. But back in the Jewish culture, 30 was adulthood. And so he is considered youth. Paul did not tell Timothy, wait until you're older. You can be a minister when you're older. No, he told him to be an example. Doesn't matter what age you are. Doesn't matter how long you've been a Christian, how short you've been a Christian. You are an example to anyone in the world. Every student here, every person working here can be that example. You can be an example in your classroom or in your workspace. You can be an example on the bus or in your car. You can be an example in the cafeteria or at restaurants. You can be an example on the football field. I think that goes for everybody. You can be an example in the locker room. You can be an example in the hallway. You can be a Christian at school, no matter what the world's telling you. No matter if they're saying that you can't wear shirts that say certain things. It doesn't matter what they tell you. You can still be a Christian. And there's some schools out there that are trying to get us away from being Christians at school. And we cannot let that happen. And it's on the students to be Christians at school. We can also be kind to everyone. Ephesians 4. Verse 32. And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. Now, this sounds a lot harder. It is a lot harder than it sounds. It's easy to be kind to someone that is also kind to you. But what about the kid that makes fun of you? What about someone who leaves you out? What about someone who says something mean about you? What about that person that nobody else wants to talk to? See, that is when we all have the opportunity to show people something different. You do not have to be popular. You do not have to be the funniest person. You do not have to be the best athlete. You don't even have to have more friends than anybody else. You can simply be kind and be a Christian. Sometimes that one act of kindness can make a bigger difference than you realize. And we see that throughout the life of Jesus. It could be the smallest thing, and it brought people to Christ. Romans 12:2. Do not follow the crowd. And that's a big one. It's called peer pressure. It's when your neighbors and your fellow students try to push you towards something. Don't follow if it's wrong. Romans 12:2. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. School or even work can create a lot of pressure to fit in. Everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is watching it. Everyone else is saying it. Everyone else thinks it's okay. But Christians are not called to ask, what is everyone else doing? See, we are called to ask, what does God want me to do? And you may have to stand alone sometimes. You may have to say no. You may be laughed at. You may be called weird. But do you know who stood alone, suffered, and died so that way we could carry on his message? Jesus Christ was mocked, beaten, ridiculed, murdered because he was saying something that nobody else agreed with. We have to remember, it is better to stand with God and stand alone than to stand with those people and stand against God. I'll repeat that. It is better to stand with God and stand alone than to stand with everyone else and against God. Lastly, do your best. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men. See, we can apply this to school. Do your best. Study hard, do your homework, listen to your teachers, work hard, play hard. See, use the abilities God has given you. If you're really good at math, be really good at math. But do not do those things just to get the praise of other people. Don't do it just because somebody is watching. Do it because you want to do your best. Do them because God has given you opportunity to do it. So your attitude towards school can be a part of your Christian life and can be a part of your example to everybody else that thinks school is unnecessary. So as you walk into school this year, starting new, I want you to remember 5 things. And I want you to repeat after me. Everybody. Be an example. Be kind. Stand firm. Do your best. Do not leave Jesus at home. See, when we're your example, people are watching you. People younger than you, people older than you, your teachers, your fellow students, everybody is watching you, and God's watching you. We have to be an example. We have to be kind because you never know what someone else is going through. I know several people that just one kind word could have changed their whole life. And there's some people that one kind word, they would still be here. So you never know what somebody's going through. You never know their situation. So always be kind. Stand firm. Do not let the crowd determine who you are. Let you and God determine who you are. We are all Christians, and that is our identity. Do your best. Whatever you do, do it for the Lord. Everybody, whatever any of us do, whether that's going grocery shopping or talking about the Bible, do it for God. And most importantly, do not leave Jesus at home. Bring Jesus with you into the classroom or to work. Bring Jesus with you when you go onto the field. Bring Jesus with you when you go into the cafeteria. Bring Jesus with you when you go throughout the hallway. Bring Jesus with you everywhere you go. School may be starting back, but following Jesus never ends.